fucking... yeah, a little bit. No shit, a little bit, yeah. What are you drinking, my man? Jack Daniels and Coke. Is that what they told you at the bar? Okay. It could be hand sanitizer at this point. I didn't put anything in it. It looks like you're the kind of guy who puts things in drinks. Not me. I'm not the one putting shit in drinks.
Listen, whether you're for or against, leaving the European Union, I think we can all agree that I've put on a bit of weight recently.
As you can tell, I also am a generic white girl. It's really hot yesterday, guys. It's just a face, okay?
It's mad. It's nice doing comedy in London, though. All my comedy friends, I'm going to call you, my comedy friends. I'm sure they get to try out their material at work and that, which is nice. I can't do that. I work in a primary school. Never try sitting down with a bunch of 6-year-olds like, hey kids, who's on Tinder?
Drink the milk tea, put that straw in your mouth and suck. I know you will believe me. Let China change your mind. The cup has the world inside. You better drink it now or you will get deported. Come and drink the milk tea. It's amazing.
Hi, I'm Marcus, and I'm the idiot on the comedy circuit. I've asked a group of comedians some questions on how to start and succeed in the world of stand-up comedy. Subscribe to this channel to see what their answers were, as well as to chart my progress on stage, be it crushing or crashing. More likely the latter than the former. You can also follow my progress on social media. I am ION Comedy on Twitter and ION Comedy Circuit on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Here is today's video.
I mean, I'll say this, but I think amongst comics know who he is. Patrice and and I don't think that's, it's kind of a basic bitch answer because I think a lot of people know Patrice, but like in terms of the industry, and when you think of like stratospheric fame, right? Like, my parents will know who Bill Burr is. My parents will know who Jerry Seinfeld is. And these are all great comics. They'll know who Louis C.K. is, although they still see it. I can show videos to my dad of Patrice, he'll be like, I don't know who this guy is. But he'll laugh his head off. So I think from amongst comics, we all know Patrice, of course, we love the craft, we know he's a legend. But I think amongst the general population, the average person on the street, it's a crying shame that he's not as big as he was, and obviously that's because he died and stuff. But it's like, I definitely say Patrice.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned before, I mentioned the whole Ross Noble thing because that's fresh in my head. Like, just the way, creating sets out of nowhere. Almost, I don't know if you've experienced this, like, in the London scene, you see a lot of people that you think they're incredible as well, and you almost think they're underappreciated in terms of people that you see in real life when you're doing things, like especially like people that I've seen a few. I've done the Freedom Fridge with Andy Onions. Like, he's an incredible MC, an amazing act. Like, I went down with my mate was my bringer that night, and he does this whole PowerPoint presentation thing, and we had a couple of beers and stuff, and it honestly, like, we couldn't breathe laughing. It was just incredible. And like, it's one of those things when you're at a comedy show, like a small comedy show, like I'm in a room under or above a pub, and you just think this guy should be on TV. Like, this person is incredible. And I think you mentioned that you've done Big Nose comedy before with David Lewis as well. I think that he is the sharpest, like the harshest and sharpest MC ever. Like some of the things I've seen him say at hosting, I think that is just he is an absolute devil. That he is an evil man as an MC, and it's so funny, man. And he's one of them people I just think he should be like on telly and famous. I think
no one's mentioned Bob Mortimer. My face, not having it. Would I lie to you? Bob Mortimer, he is the maddest. He's the fact that he has such a narrative with words, and they have no idea if he's lying, because they're like, your life is so crazy, we have no idea if this is true or not. And he's just like, it's true, I do my own dentistry. And they're like, what? And he's like, I put a computer chair on my table, I put the light up here, and I just, what can you do? I can do molars, I can do fillings. And they're like, what are you on about? Like, he's amazing. And like old shooting stars, I used to watch a lot of like Whose Line Is It Anyway and Shooting Stars when I was a kid as well, and so he was on Shooting Stars with Vic Reeves, Kent lad, big up. And yeah, like watching that, it's just silly. It's silly, but that's what we're here. We're here to be silly and to have fun. We're the clowns of the class, aren't we? So it's got to be him or Sean Locke, I think. But then they're just both so famous anyway. So like all the comedians I saw in the Fringe that are like coming, they're underappreciated at the minute. So like you've got people like Paddy Young, Horatio Gould, Adam Flood. Like they're people that I saw at the Fringe, and I'm just like, yeah, these are the guys who, you know what I mean, like they're underappreciated because, like, I mean, the Fringe runs are doing great, but like, yeah, I suppose I'll put them. I know you asked for one name and I've tangented on for 5 minutes.
You know, that's fine.
I can't give you a straight answer. I don't know what to say. Like,
I like that. That's the reason.
I'm the most underappreciated comic.
I mean, there's lots. I mean, the thing about comedy is it's just like music or whatever, you know, there's a lot of people doing it, a lot of people with a lot of talent, but it takes more than just talent to, you know, be recognized and known and be rated as being good. So I'm South African, so I'm going to go with a South African. Loyiso Gola, he's in London. He is, I think he moved here like 2 years ago or something like that. He's like Emmy nominated, like TV shows in South Africa. He actually was in the same like class as Trevor Noah, as in they came up similar times, but Trevor went overseas before he did, and then obviously just blew up, and now he's like the host of the Daily Show. But a lot of people back home reckon that Loyiso's probably funnier than Trevor. So if I had to choose anybody in the world, I'd probably say Loyiso Gola. There's a ton of South African comedians that nobody's ever heard of that I could mention. While I've been here in the UK, I've seen a couple of interesting acts as well. And one of my favorite guys is Mike Rice and Aaron McCann, 2 Irish guys. Crazy funny guys. They're definitely bigger than they are, if that makes sense. Like funnier and have stage presence than the level that they're doing stuff at. But I reckon in the next 5 years or something, people will definitely know those names. And some people know Loyiso as well, but he's not as big as he should be, if that makes sense.
A show I watched recently again, which is one of my funniest shows I saw in the last sort of 10 years, was probably Hail Mary by Sean McLoughlin. Sean's one of the best British comedians there is. He's fantastic. He supported Gervais on his last few tours. Yeah, I would recommend anyone that wants to see a show that's perfectly structured. I think it's on YouTube for free. I would go and watch Sean.
And that was today's video. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the notification bell to be prompted when a new video comes out. And don't forget to follow me on social media, ION Comedy on Twitter and ION Comedy Circuit on Instagram, TikTok and Facebook. Okay, bye bye.